What is going on, my fellow survivors, and welcome back to Enshrouded. Today we are going to be talking about Update 5, Pact of the Flame, as well as Keen's 2025 roadmap. Now, this video is a lot of my opinion. I'm going to be showing you some of the key features. I have set up a Update 5 vault behind me to show some of the new things that they have added. Having played through the new content, is Update 5 worth coming back for? If you're not a builder or starting fresh, or you're not in the mid 15 to 20-ish level, then sadly I would honestly hold off until Update 6. Now, the reason I say this is just due to the fact that there are only really 9 new quests, most of which stay within Revelwood and the Springlands. And if you are, like me, at max level of 35, it's going to only take you about an hour to finish the lunar update. Now, a lot of the mid-range areas did get overhauled. We will be going over the list of some of the areas that have changed. For now, let's go ahead and jump into the patch notes. Okay. Some of the key highlights that I'm actually excited for. Now, my server admin has not enabled them, so I cannot show them off in-game. We now have the ability to text chat. So if you are hosting a server via yourself, or you are renting a server, you have the ability to now turn on text chat. So there is no longer trying to rely solely on text messages, Discord, or however you were trying to communicate with your friends prior. You can now do it all within the game. The same is said with the voice chat. It is set to off. These two are set to off by default. So your server host or admin will have to turn them on. They have added in a new emote wheel, which I do believe has 9. We have greet, victory, point, confirm, come here, sit, which I do believe we were able to sit via a hotkey, sad, decline, dance, and shocked. So yes, there are 9 emotes in total. Building improvements. This is a major one for builders. First person camera for building. No longer do you have to stare at the back of your guy's head. You can actually go into first person mode and place your blocks where you want to place them. Full rotation control for props. Now, this one is rather interesting. Props can now be rotated in all axes instead of just vertical axes. Please note, this new functionality is only available for decorative furniture and similar props. Furniture and interactive props like the flame altar, beds, benches, chairs, thrones, toilets, and similar can only be rotated around the vertical axis, as previously building blocks and building shapes can only be rotated by 90 degrees. We will go over this some more when I go into the vault, as the new axis system is rather interesting. Now, there is the new tool overgrowth editing. A new building tool has been added to the crafting progression. When equipped, it allows adding and removing various overgrowth materials such as ivy to and from blocks. There are 3 overgrowth materials in total. There is the ivy, there is mycelium, and there is one more. The building block decay tool as well. A new building tool allows adding or removing ruined block visuals at the edges of building walls. The new decay tool can be crafted from the collector NPC with materials from Nomad Highlands. The overgrowth tool can be crafted at the farmer NPC with materials from Revelwood area. When they announced this, I thought that there was going to be a new quest line from the farmer and the collector to go get certain materials in order to craft these tools. That is not the case. If you've played for any amount of time, you're going to have these tools or these materials in storage and be able to craft these tools. You're not going to have to go to either one of those zones in order to get it. If you're starting out mid-level or you're in those questing areas anyways, just go ahead and get the materials while you're there. Taking a quick look at both of these tools, this is the overgrowth tool. Now, I have went through and had placed ivy on it, and I don't know if this is currently a bug or not, but you have your small shape, medium shape, and large shape. The decay tool works just fine. As you can see, I can take my decay. It will go along the edges of the building. However, it will not do the face of the building. So you can basically ruin out your doorways. Anywhere you have an outcrop, it will tatter the building and give it a more distressed look. I do kind of wish that they would allow for the distress to be on the face of the building block, but that is simply not the case. It is strictly limited to your outcrops. Jumping back into the patch notes, new props and materials. More than 70 new or previously unavailable props are now accessible for crafting and placing into the player base. This is the perfect time to try out new placement rotation options among others. The new props include a set of elegant leather sofas. I looked at them, didn't craft them. They look a little too modern to me. That's my personal opinion. A new set of sturdy doors, including a massive vault door. New set of braziers and lamps. Numerous home decor props such as baskets, pots, and buckets. New types of room decorations such as room dividers and sigils as wall decor. 2 new building materials available, a yellow variation of stained glass building block, and a new stone wall terrain material, which I am going to assume that the new stone wall terrain material is the climbing rose. A quest introduces a new trader for vanity items and decorative props. While we celebrate the Lunar New Year, the trader will also stay as a permanent villager for the player base if invited by the Flame Board. Very easy to obtain, gives you a few of the quests that you're going to be doing during Update 5. Some quality of life gameplay improvements. Skills can now be individually reset in the skill tree. Visual parry indicators have been added to enemies that did not show the parry opportunity before, but we all know some will probably still mess up the timing. A visual parry opportunity indicator has been added to enemy projectiles that can be parried. This one, the very first one, is rather huge. This will allow you to go back and respec with certain nodes. You no longer have to go back and drop everything to rebuild everything. Now, I did go up to Albany Summit and was playing with the Ice Hawks up there, and I personally never saw the visual indicator of when to parry. And yes, I run the Juggernaut melee build, but I generally don't have too much of an issue parrying things back, so I don't know if it's a delay between me and my server, or what is going on with that. A new farming animal can now be tamed in the Kindle Waste. Get ready for the Dune Armadillo and its offspring to become friends on the farm. Now, if you are level 25 or up, you're going to be in the Albany Summits. You have come across a Dune Armadillo. It is great between levels 20 and 25 for melee users or anyone looking for additional constitution, as it is one of the best meat sources for that level. If you are beyond level 25, you are going to be using the fatty meat, and it completely negates the need for the Dune Armadillo. Unfortunately, they have fixed several bugs and glitches that have been addressed with pathfinding and behavior issues for villagers and farm animals during their daily routine, and they will continue to work on improving them. Wand users. This one I know is massive because at one point I was using a wand instead of a bow, and it was really annoying going up against the witches trying to dodge their attack and not being able to animation cancel. Dodge and blink can now be activated earlier during wand attacks to align the availability of defensive moves with the timings of melee weapons, meaning it will more than likely animation cancel and allow you to dodge out of things rather than get hit and then dodge. Game world updates. Mistberry Catacombs, Cloverbrook, Rustnook, Morween, Fingren's Farm, Rook Farm, Fox Chase, Netherian, Saline Mine, Moss Groves, all these places have had a massive overhaul. They look freaking phenomenal. Jumping into the actual changelog, there are a few that are quality of life and a few that are actually essential. The taming timer, for one, is no longer aborted when sneaking away from the animal that is currently occupied with eating a food bait. This should make the taming process a little easier. I know for a fact, I don't know how many times I threw out my bait, they were eating it, I went to walk away, and I startled them. Fixed the merciless attack to where it now hits larger enemies. This one is for our melee users. If you ran into this, you know about it. When you would go to merciless attack one of the larger enemies, the animation would actually miss, or you would end up getting animation canceled by something hitting you in the back. Either way, that has been fixed. They have improved the rendering of vegetation. The translucency for leaves now looks better, which I can tell you that they have done a massive visual overhaul on a lot of the things, and it looks phenomenal. One thing I did notice is that they added birch as an additional tree type in most forest areas. I have personally not seen any of the birch. I don't know if it's going to drop regular wood type, if it's going to drop birch as a block type. For building, that's kind of speculative. The information about ongoing shader compilation has been moved from the escape menu to the HUD for more visibility. Basically, when you log into the game, if you haven't been on in a day or two, it is going to be showing you the percentage of compiling shaders down in the lower left. For those that know, whenever you kill a boss, it would occasionally get a glitch where it would have a smidge of health left. They have removed an unnecessary health bar on boss corpses. You can stop, He's dead already. Love it. Well, the time has come to finally crack open the vault door. As we step inside, you will be greeted by your new trader. The new yellow luminescent block lighting up our little vault area. We have a couple of the lunar wall dividers. Now, if we speak to her, go to craft, she is the one that will offer you your new lanterns, your new door, wall dividers, plants, and a new cosmetic outfit. As you can see, I have food, potions, and a beverage on a table. Something they did not say in the update patch notes is, yes, you can put the items on a table, make it look phenomenal. So your dining room can be a dining room, your alchemy lab can be an alchemy lab. However, you have to have specific items to put the items on. If you notice, I've got 2 empty plates right here. I cannot put the items on the plate. They are just there. If I come over and I'm looking at where this strawberry pie is at, I have the ability to swap out what food I want placed on that item. That item is the food plate. There's 2 food plate variants. One looks like a standard cutting board. One is just like a round wooden plate. And then the third one would be your coaster, which is what you would put your drinks and your potions on. Now, if I come over here, say I want to put down a candle. Normally, we just lay down the candle. However, now if I hold R and right click, it brings up the axis of the X, Y, and Z axis, so I can literally rotate this thing any way I want. Now I have to hold R to go left and right, T to go side to side, or G to go forward and backwards. This update, I would say, is more for your builders than your adventurers / story goers. Builders are going to have a phenomenal time with this update. I want to go ahead and jump into the upcoming roadmap for 2025. Jumping in to the 2025 roadmap. This has me somewhat excited. The wall decay tool, the first person camera building, free prop rotation, display, food, drinks, and potions, wall overgrowth, voice chat, text chat, and a player emotes have all already been added with this update. More building blocks and props. I think they're going to extend more building blocks with the next update, as there are currently 3 empty slots in the building block palette. Teleporting to other servers and community world sharing have not been implemented. I know that editable signs is a carryover from 2024. However, if this comes into effect, it is going to be extremely helpful as far as keeping your chests organized with a sign above them. Option to prevent item collection to action bar is going to be phenomenal. Like, I'm the type of person that my action bar is set the way I want my action bar set. If I run out of something, I don't want something I pick up to go into that slot, because then it's just there and it's not what I wanted there. Auto collection option, I'm not for sure what that is supposed to mean, because as of right now, you loot, you hit T or G, whichever one it is, to take all, and that seems to be the base of most crafting games. I don't know if they're planning on implementing some way of the NPCs collecting stuff from your farm, you know, actually having your carpenter go get wood, your farmer tending to the fields, etc. If not, keen, that would be absolutely phenomenal, because we have so many NPCs right now. You can have 2 actual bases, and you have your main crafters and their assistants at those 2 bases, but it still requires you to harvest all the materials and put them in chests, etc. So if the NPCs would actually be able to be useful in more than just wandering around, that would be phenomenal. Named map markers. I know you can do custom icons, but being able to actually put down map markers with specific names would be phenomenal. That way you know where to go to get something. Naming or named pets. Naming your cats and your dogs and everything else is, to me, aesthetic. It would make it feel a little more alive, knowing that you named your pet and you can come home and say, I'm going to go see your pet and actually have a name. New character customization options. I know right now they have presets. I am not for sure what they plan on doing as far as extending the character customization. And the barber NPC. This ties back into the auto collection and having so many villagers that just wander around and don't really do anything. Vanity clothing and vanity weapon system. They have implemented some new wall hangers for your weapons, and they have introduced new cosmetic armor. Coloring station for armor. This one I find rather interesting because I do believe that they did a phenomenal job on the actual armor sets. I personally do not see any reason to want to recolor them. New farm animals, the water biome hollow halls, and the mountain biome hollow halls, as well as the water biome. I am hoping, and this is my guess, that the current water biome, or the water biome they're wanting to implement, is going to go to the northern side of the Alban Eve summits. The reason I say this is the mountain biome hallowed halls right now in its current state is abysmal. It was simply turned into one of the fastest legendary farm spots for the current endgame. And until they actually fix this, it will remain that way. So I'm hoping that the water biome hallowed halls doesn't end up the same way as the mountain biome hallowed halls. If they plan on releasing the water biome hallowed halls in the current state as the mountain biome hallowed halls, they need to leave these doors locked. That's my opinion. Leave it locked. If it's not done, don't release it. The reason I say that the water biome hallowed halls, or water biome, is going to the north of the Alban Eve summit is if you look at the direction that the mountain biome hallowed halls is pointing, as well as base raid islands to the north of the Alban Eve summit are the floating island. The mountain biome hallowed halls runs in that direction. So that's why I'm speculating that this right here, in conjunction with this and this, is going to be north of the Alban Eve summits. They're talking about implementing more enemy patrols. I know that the Fel come out at night, so I'm not for sure what other enemy patrols they are wanting to implement, whether it be VUCA, scavenger patrols, whatever. I do think that it will add more depth to the game, jukeboxes, and the ability to play music together with NPCs. If you're playing solo and you like to have just a little bit of music going in the background, I can see these being very beneficial. However, when you play music with other people or NPCs, all you're doing is increasing your rested bonus. So you do have to stop what you're currently doing and play the instrument. Weapon gems customization. Right now, the only way to unlock any further damage potential of weapons is to upgrade it with runes. Usually this is a 2 to 5 level upgrade. So I am wondering if they are going to implement something as far as, say, Diablo 2 or Path of Exiles, where you will be able to socket your weapon to increase its damage potential or increase its combat effectiveness, such as leeching or something along those lines. The event system is a carryover from 2024. If they implement world events, that would be phenomenal and add an entirely new depth to the game. The new weapon types. Currently, we have the two-handed sword, the standard sword, the mace, the two-handed mace, the staff, the wand, and the bow, as well as daggers. If they implement new weapon types, in my personal opinion, they're going to have to expand or revamp their skill tree to a lot for those weapon types. As it stands of right now, in Update 4, you are very close to being able to multi-class without any issue. Improved Night, more dangerous and new rewards. Not exactly for sure where they're going with that, because again, right now it's pretty quiet at night, it's just dark, you've got the Fel wandering around, so I'm thinking that's going to tie into the enemy patrols and possibly into base raid islands. This one, I don't know if it's going to be PvP, PvE, what dynamic they have as far as this one goes. Is it going to be a 7 Days to Die and a Sunken Land type of thing, where you're going to have periodic patrols or enemies come attack what you've built? Because that also plays into the new moving traps. So that to me signifies some sort of base defense that could potentially take place at night. The new weather events. We have rain and sun. Are they wanting to implement or sandstorms in the Kindle Waste, blizzards in the Alban Eve summits? This can go in so many different directions that I'm kind of excited to see what happens. So that was their roadmap. The lower end has pretty much already been accomplished. One major thing that they also put on here is the 1.0 release is planned for spring of 2026. This will include the console launch along with a creative mode and more user-generated content content features. So they are taking our opinions and our thoughts and trying to implement them as best as they can. Unfortunately, console users, you've got another year to wait. In conclusion, I am hoping that Keen does not bite off more than they can chew as far as their roadmap. The current features that they have implemented are outstanding. Again, in my opinion, if you are not a builder and you're more the adventurer / story driven guy, I would hold off until update 6 unless you simply want to come back, start fresh, and go through all the new revamped POI areas. I want to thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to check out our other content as well. Hope to see you on the next one. Goodbye for now.